So, welcome those of you watching on Facebook. I'm Father Kensy, chaplain to the University of Birmingham and at Newman House Catholic Chaplaincy. Today I'm interviewing three members of the CATSOC committee. If you came here seeing the event, you're probably expecting a Stephen Colbert impression, but I don't really do Stephen Colbert impressions. So instead, I'm just going to leave you with this little nugget of something to amuse you with. And also just to remind you that this is coming live on Facebook, so please do feel free to ask any questions of our guests today on the comment section of the Facebook page. But if you do see a number below the screen, do not call it because there is no competition. And if you see a number, I'd be very curious to know what that was about. So there we go. Anyway, with introductions out of the way, let me now introduce you to the first three members, the CATSOC committee, Prabhu, Laura, and Ursula. So if you could introduce yourselves. Prabhu.
Hello everyone, I'm Prabhu and I'm the chair of CATSOC for this year. I'm a medical student going into my third year.
Thanks, Prabhu. Laura?
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm vice chair of CATSOC this year and I'm a second year English literature and creative writing student.
Welcome, Laura. Ursula?
Hello everyone, I'm Ursula. I'm going into my second year of medicine this year and I'm CATSOC's new secretary.
All right, well, great to have you all here. You are a faith student organization, and this is a faith-based page. So I'm going to maybe ask you to start off by telling us a little bit about your faith journey. So we'll start again with you, Prabhu.
Okay, so I would probably define myself as a cradle Catholic in the sense that I was born Catholic and will always be Catholic. I went to Catholic primary school and then after that went to a Church of England secondary school. During my time in secondary school, I started going to the local parish youth group. Went there every Sunday evening up until, well, now I still do go actually, whenever I can. But yeah, it's a good place in the youth group to find some Catholic friends and to learn more about our faith as well from a young age. I'm an altar server in my local parish. I've been doing that for 10 years, so have the silver medal now. The youth group was real good, and I've worked my way up through the years, and now I've recently done a yoke program, which is a program to make yourself into a young leader at the youth group. So now when I do have the opportunity to go back, I assist in leading sessions there and helping out where I can and helping the kids grow in their faith. My personal faith journey has always been one of a lot of love for God and a lot of strength in my faith. I've always been very sure of it. As I grew older though and got into my later years of GCSEs and secondary school and starting college as well, I realized that a lot of people question you about your faith, and simply speaking about how much you love God and your own personal experiences don't tend to go down too well with someone who isn't Catholic. So during my later years in sixth form, I started trying to learn more about the faith and researching more about different Catholic viewpoints and stances on different things. When I joined university, I realized that this questioning about Catholicism and what you believe in just got a lot stronger for me. My main group of friends at university and the people that and all my friends in med school, most of them aren't Catholic, and I do sometimes feel like I need to defend my faith, and so I started a journey there, a new journey for me, which is a journey of trying to learn more about Catholicism. So last year in February, I decided to start reading the Bible from start to finish. I thought that was a good place to start. And now, over a year later, I'm very close to the end, about to start Revelation soon. So we're getting to the end. It's taken a while, but we're getting there. And this has really helped with me understanding the full story of our faith, the story of our salvation, learning lots of different things about that story. But I've also started looking and reading around Catholicism as well. I've actually got a couple of books that I've been recently reading. I thought I'd show. This is Right to Die by a man called John Wyatt, who gave a speech at our university. It's a book on euthanasia, assisted suicide and end-of-life care, and the Catholic viewpoints on that. I've also recently been reading a couple books on people's conversion stories. One that I found particularly compelling was one called Out of the Darkness by Anthony Gilty, a man who was a violent criminal who converted to Catholicism in prison. I've also started trying to read books by saints, which do prove to be a lot more difficult. This is True Devotion to Mary by St. Louis de Montfort that I intend on starting soon. And the one that I'm currently reading is The Discernment of Spirits by St. Ignatius. So I've started this new journey for me, which is a journey of trying to learn more about Catholicism, learn more about the beliefs that we hold, and in particular why we believe them. So yeah.
Wow, that's I'm very impressed. It's really quite. There's a lot of stages to the journey, you know, from being a cradle Catholic to, as it were, kind of exploring the faith on your own, and now sort of getting deeper into spirituality. So thank you for sharing that, and we're off to an excellent start. Laura.
Yeah. So I grew up Catholic as well, and I would say that when I started uni, I wasn't feeling especially kind of determined to be part of a Catholic community at university. I didn't really, before I came, I didn't really think it was necessarily where I was going to end up going. I sort of felt like I felt like being kind of quite open to maybe other things. Maybe I sort of had a vague idea of looking for some sort of church, but I wasn't really connecting with Catholicism particularly, or feeling like a real need to identify as Catholic when I started uni. But kind of with the people that I met and the experience that I had at Catholic, I felt it was it sort of ended up being the place for me. So I kind of like have a strong feeling that I was sort of led there, and the fact that I was open to it and not really feeling the pressure to go to mass, and then I sort of ended up doing it anyway. I definitely feel like that was God leading me in that direction. I would say, yeah, it's in my first year of university that I feel like I've started taking it really seriously and wanting to really make a commitment to it. And then last year I ended up doing Student Cross Pilgrimage, which is a pilgrimage to Walsingham, and hadn't really done anything like that before. Hadn't really done anything kind of serious to mark Holy Week, and that was just another really powerful experience for me. And yeah, and I got involved with that again this year, but obviously it didn't go ahead because of coronavirus. But yeah, and that's sort of where I'm up to now.
Oh, thanks for sharing, Laura. I'm just impressed that, you know, but most people at university don't really kind of have a sense of which way to go, and you know that you have a sense of peacefully being guided by God. That's amazing. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Ursula.
Yeah, I'm another cradle Catholic. My faith is definitely a very integral part of who I am. I went to a Catholic primary school, which was really lovely. It was really nice to have quite a few other Catholic kids around. But then when I went to secondary school, the numbers dwindled, and I eventually ended up knowing no young Catholics other than my siblings. I come from a very old part of England as well, which means our parish was like the average age is about 40, and that got quite disheartening at times. And I suppose my faith really kick-started when I attended a Latin Mass when I was about 8 years old. It was just like nothing I'd ever seen before. Became more devout. I started reading more holy books, like A Story of a Soul and the life story of Gianna Molla, who then became my confirmation saint. That also led to me wanting to study medicine. She was a doctor, and I was very inspired by her. Coming to university at Birmingham then was a really happy moment in my faith journey, and seeing so many other young Catholics was like very encouraging. And I was just very happy to know I'm not going to be the only 60-year-old in Mass one day, and I'm really excited by the fact that there are so many of us, and it's quite new.
Well, I must say, when you said kind of really old parish, average age of 40, I thought, oh my God, I'm 40 next month. But no, thank you for sharing. Well, we've already got a few people joining on Facebook. Kevin Joseph says, True Devotion to Mary, excellent book. Full disclosure, Kevin Joseph is my brother. And Rosie really loved your story. So yeah, those of you watching, please do feel free to keep adding comments, and also if you've got any questions later on, I'll sort of put audience questions to the CATSOC committee members here. Speaking of CATSOC committee, would you like to quickly tell us what you've already mentioned your role, but what does the chair, vice chair, and secretary of the CATSOC actually do? There may be people watching this later who are maybe in sixth form, planning to come to university, or even those at university who just don't know. So who'd like to begin?
I guess I'll go again. So yeah, as I said, I'm the chair of CATSOC for this year, and my role really I see as boiling down to two important things. I see it as deepening the faith of all the members that come to CATSOC, and number two, as trying to increase the amount of people that come to CATSOC, and make our society one that isn't just a small group of people. I want to expand the amount of people that we get come to CATSOC. It doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to be Catholic to come along. And I see my role as trying to do these two things the best that I can. Trying to host events that cater for all people. Trying to potentially connect our university with other universities, and have inter-university events where Birmingham hosts them, or go into Flame and things like that. So I see my role as trying to expand our CATSOC as much as possible, try and do more events on campus this year to try and get people who aren't Catholic or don't know much about us to hear about us and to come along, and also to host events with the help of our faith and liturgy representative who you'll meet later, to deepen the faith of all the people that come along.
Maybe Laura?
Yeah, so I'd say I've got the same goals as Prabhu really for vice chair, to sort of try and make CATSOC a welcoming place for people, and maybe something that people could consider going to when they may not have done before. And then also just in terms of like the actual job of the vice chair, there's not really a specific job I've got to do, because I'm not chairing the meeting, and I'm not like doing something specific like a treasurer or something would do, but I think mainly just kind of supporting the committee as a whole. I think it's quite important, and trying to make sure that people, especially with quite specific jobs, aren't taking on too much, and that we're all kind of getting along well, because sometimes it's a bit difficult to juggle committee and university. So yeah.
And besides, somebody needs to keep Prabhu on the righteous path.
Laura's a fantastic vice, as she's already shown, so it's all good.
Ursula.
Okay, well, I'm the secretary, and pretty much my job's to keep everything organised and make sure all the committee members know what they have to do after our meetings, making sure all the CASOC members know what events we're having, when we're having them, like sending out emails to people and checking on our emails, making sure we're not missing anything important. Also hoping when the academic year starts again to be sending out a weekly newsletter, just to keep everyone updated on everything we're doing and everything we're going to be doing.
Oh. And for those of you watching who don't know, well, actually, I did mention it in this week's newsletter, but Ursula produces the CatSoc corner for the Catholic Chaplaincy newsletter, and also kind of make sure the multi-faith chaplaincy includes CatSoc events in their newsletter as well. Okay, so we've got more people joining us on the Facebook page. So welcome all of you, and please do post questions for the group. Now, you've spoken a lot about the kind of role of CatSoc and all the things that CatSoc have to do, but this is obviously a very difficult time, and you've only been in office a couple of weeks. You got all kind of elected in lockdown. So what's that been like for all of you? I mean, how have you been personally affected by this COVID-19 outbreak?
Personally, well, myself as an individual, I'm quite a hyperactive person. I like to be busy. I like to be bombarded with different things going on in my life. So initially, I found it a bit difficult with the lack of structure, without having exams to prepare for, or without having university to provide structure to my life. But then I kind of realised that I want to spend this time to develop my own personal skills. As you can see, I've got a guitar hung up and a ukulele as well, and I started learning how to play those a couple of years ago, but I never really found the time to get good at it. So I've been spending a lot of time practicing that, and I've also gone back to my days of doodling. I've got some drawings and some oil pastels hung up, as you can see. That's stuff that I've been doing during lockdown, another way to stay busy. I've also started trying to learn a couple of languages as well. So my native tongue is Tamil, well, I can speak, but I can't read or write. So I've started trying to read and write that. I also did an A-level in Spanish, so I've decided to try and get better at that by watching Spanish films and you know, just trying to improve my all-round person of who Prabhu is, and increase my knowledge of different things. I've also been reading quite a lot of the classics, as you might say. So 1984, I've just recently finished The Picture of Dorian Gray as well. Great book, would recommend it. So I'm trying to use lockdown to improve myself in all aspects of my life, and faith included, obviously. And it has been difficult without having mass to attend and without having church to go to for silent prayer. I'm lucky enough to have a parish here that streams mass daily, and also streams adoration and other prayers throughout the day that I try to watch whenever I'm able. So yeah.
Thanks, Prabhu. Well, actually, just speaking of streaming, this is a quick plug for the Newman House page. We have Mass streamed at Sunday at midday, and in fact, Adoration streamed tonight at 8:30. So about an hour after this interview finishes. But plug over. Laura, Ursula, how have you guys been affected by all this?
I would say I've been quite lucky in that I'm in lockdown in a nice place with my family, and There's a lot of kind of green spaces where I live. So, and no one I know has been seriously ill or anything, so I haven't had to be affected in like quite a serious way, but definitely it has been difficult because yeah, I was really enjoying uni, and yeah, it is just difficult to not be there, and I definitely felt that I was kind of, before uni, I was kind of hurtling through it and sort of worrying about like how quickly it was going, so I was really enjoying it, and then suddenly it's been kind of like cut off. But yeah, I definitely think that's a good opportunity to kind of like lean into God and just like try and like rekindle things that you might be missing from your prayer life. So I'm trying to do that, and then also started running as well, which I'm really enjoying. Yeah, I'm doing the Couch to 5K app, which I'd highly recommend. But yeah, that's mostly what I've been doing.
To be honest, I've been very busy during lockdown. I've got 5 siblings at home with me at the moment, so it's never really a quiet moment, which is quite a culture shock after uni. I'd finally got used to having some personal space. It's just gone now. Between doing things with them and going over my course and helping out with emergency dental patients at my dad's dental practice, it's been pretty full up. And it actually makes my timetable for medicine at uni seem pretty calm. But on the whole, I've been enjoying this time, like to spend with my family. I've never really had a boring moment, so it's not been too bad.
And I mean, CATSOC has been one of the most kind of active student societies in terms of, just responding to what's been happening in the lockdown and students like yourselves being in your room. So what have you made of the response of your own response, I guess, so far? What stands out for you? Maybe
I think we've done.
Yeah, go on.
I think we've done very well in responding to the COVID situation. We've kept our socials going. We've had to move them to various days to try and get as many people to come as possible. Obviously, not everyone's available at all times, but we found that Monday seems to be working quite well recently. So we've got our socials that are continuing. We've got office devotions and daily rosaries happening. So I think we have responded well in trying to keep the community aspect of CAFSOC. We also have a charity event that's going on at the moment, led by Katie, who you'll once again meet later. And yes, we've got a lot of stuff going on a daily basis and on a weekly basis to try and keep our CAFSOC community thriving despite the current situation.
What struck you guys about it, Ursula, Laura?
I know a lot of committees have been struggling to keep things going now that lockdown's on and everyone's back at home. So I think CAFSOC's just done a good job at keeping things going, making sure there's still a platform there for CAFSOC members to socialise and pray with their friends, and just trying to keep things as normal as possible considering the situation for everyone.
Yeah, we've also I put on there's a group chat for just the girls of CAFSOC as well, and organised a thing where I did like a Secret Santa type thing where you send a letter to somebody else in the group, which went down quite well. So I think, yeah, just kind of things like that to sort of keep like friendships sort of going, I think.
Wait, you mean an actual snail mail letter?
Yeah.
Wow, that is old school. But lovely. I mean, there's nothing, it's gives so much joy when you get a letter that's kind of handwritten, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it sounds to me like CAFSOC, where I mean, there is a crisis. We're not denying that there is a crisis, but you've been able to spot maybe even opportunities in the midst of this. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's been difficult, to be honest, because a lot of our initial plans have had to be changed. Not being able to do a CAFSOC ball and the way that we normally give leavers presents to those that are graduating. So There has been a lot of change, but I think we've dealt with it well as a committee and as a society, and it's been enjoyable. Yeah.
Now, you did say that, okay, I mean, obviously, all the plans for this term have had to change, and we don't know where the situation is going and, you know, what further plans might have to change. But as the kind of fresh committee, what are you most looking forward to in this coming academic year? Or for CATSOC, I mean.
Well, I think we have a very good committee this year. We've got a lot of bright people with a lot of bright ideas, and I particularly look forward to working closely with the Catholic Student Network throughout the next year. My sister's actually chair of that for this upcoming year, so I'll be working closely with her to try and make CAFSOC into a more inter-university kind of organisation. I look to try and have events in Birmingham hosting different universities. As I mentioned earlier, I look to go to Flame and potentially even organise a pilgrimage abroad with CAFSOC. Obviously, this is all dependent on how this coronavirus situation goes down in the end, but those were my initial plans, and I still think we can do those. So I look forward to a good year with CAFSOC with a lot of fun and a lot of faith.
What about you guys?
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to seeing CAFSOC get back on its feet after coronavirus, like getting things back to normal, seeing how happy everyone will be when that happens. I think this can make us stronger than before. We can use this as an opportunity to build out, as we use more networking, we can build our relationships with other university societies and improve our contact with other CAFSOCs across the country, and it's going to hopefully be a good year.
Laura? I think maybe, ooh, no, you're back. Ah, sorry, your image was frozen there for a moment, Laura.
Yeah, I think my connection's a bit bad.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, well, here we go. Just a couple of, well, there haven't really been any audience questions. You guys are so great. Nobody wants to ask you anything. So Nisha kind of says, you guys have been amazing in lockdown. Keep it up. So a bit of sisterly support. For those who don't know, Nisha is Prabhu's sister. And Sanji says, she wants a CATSOC trip to the Vatican. On the cards?
Potentially. We can't rule anything out just yet.
I like that. Very diplomatic answer. Okay, well, now this is, Rosie asks, Laura, how's the running going? How far through are you?
It's going well. I'm on week 4. So I'm doing, I think it's 3-minute walk, 5-minute run, then repeated. So yeah, that's week 4.
Great. Okay, well, I guess we're almost at the end. The last round of questions is what I call the rapid fire round. So just for those watching, they haven't been told this before. So I'll ask you a quick question and basically say the first thing that comes to mind, almost. Okay, so shall we start with you, Prabhu?
Of course.
Okay, good. Let's start with an easy one. Favorite color?
Green.
Favorite meal?
Oh, well, my mum makes this amazing lamb curry, so I'll go for that.
Oh, lamb curry. Gosh, now I'm hungry. My community is downstairs having their meal right now. Favorite music artist or group?
Imagine Dragons, probably.
Oh, nice. If you were an animal, which animal would you be?
Tiger.
Okay. And
Although
finally,
apparently I did a BuzzFeed quiz, and apparently my spirit animal is a butterfly,
You have what?
A butterfly.
A butterfly.
It's a good one.
You're beautiful on the inside. And finally,
Thank you,
what's your favorite prayer?
Hail Mary.
Well done, Prabhu. Okay, Laura, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, favorite flower?
Favorite flower?
Yeah.
Tulip.
Oh, very nice. Favorite drink?
Tea.
Your favorite writer or author?
Oh, Harper
First
Lee.
name that popped to mind. Hmm?
Harper Lee.
Harper Lee. Brilliant. Which actually connects to the next question. If you were a bird, which bird would you be?
Oh, I'm going to say a robin.
Not a
I don't
mockingbird.
know.
And finally, your favorite saint?
Oh, Mother Teresa.
Lovely choice. Thanks, Laura. Ursula, you ready?
Yeah.
Your favorite pet animal?
My favorite, a dog, definitely.
Excellent. Favorite dessert?
And chocolate cake, or anything with chocolate. Just has to be chocolate.
Favorite filmmaker?
Favorite filmmaker? Peter Jackson, just because he made Lord of the Rings.
Okay. If you were a garden plant, which one would you be?
Some kind of tree, don't know.
Okay. Like big solid tree or sort of?
Yeah, hopefully a big solid tree.
Right, one of these huge ones. Okay. And your favorite pilgrimage spot?
Lourdes, we go every year, so except this year, but definitely.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for joining us. I'm just gonna quickly see. Yeah, Mary Palmer says you guys are definitely keeping up the high standards. So well done, guys. And we're coming to the end of this interview, but this is being recorded and will be uploaded on a YouTube channel. Am I correct?
Yes, so CASOC is going to start a YouTube channel very soon, and these will all be uploaded on there. So be sure to check that out. We'll be putting links for the CASOC channel on Instagram and Facebook as well. So keep an eye out for that.
Okay. And definitely those of you watching, if you don't, if you haven't followed or liked the CATSOC Brum Facebook page, then please do so ASAP and find out more about it. And if you would like to be part of the CATSOC group chat, then just drop a message to Prabhu, Laura, Ursula, or the Facebook page admins. Any final words before we go? No, you're all happy? Okay, shall I then offer you a blessing? Priest, okay. Well, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May He watch over you as you start your new office and guard you and guide you in all your ways. May He protect you from all anxiety and all harm. May Almighty God bless you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.